I know. This video is a long time coming. Well, 2 weeks. So instead of giving you guys any preamble, let's just get into this. So this is the final message that Bree relays at the end of her video. And so you're going to see why I need to break it down. All on it soon. Won't keep you here all day. Bree's going to take us away.
It's really hard to be a human being.
I know, man. Paying taxes is rough.
In this world, and it is especially harder for women. I know a lot of men do go through a lot of really, really awful shit.
Mostly at the hands of women, yes.
But I gotta say, like, every guy friend that I have has never felt unsafe walking down the street at any time in their lives.
Well, that means that he's either really arrogant or he's really stupid. But being a man does not make you immune to getting mugged and robbed, and it actually doesn't even make you immune. What is wrong with me today? Immune to getting sexually assaulted on the street. Granted, is it like much more unlikely for such a situation to occur to men? Absolutely. Are women more likely to get sexually assaulted? Yeah, I especially on the street by random men that they. Yeah, I would say just with basic common sense, sure. But does this mean that the world is harder for women because they're more likely to get sexually assaulted? Not really. I mean, considering that men are more likely to get anything else, and by them, like to get mugged, to get robbed, to get jumped, anything else. When it comes to crime, to being a victim of something, men are far more likely of being said victim. I'm not here to compete. And this is my point, viewer. My point is, we shouldn't be competing between who has a worse life. Like Bree is wrong in her mindset here in its entirety. I know the video is like 3 years old. But any woman that has this mindset that the world is so much harder and more difficult because she's a woman is wrong. It's not harder. It's different. Now, like in terms of economics, you'll most definitely, like, just by its nature of just how the world works, will definitely have a much more difficult time. Male, female, transgendered, intersex, whatever you want to be. If you don't have a lot of money, you won't even be able to usually buy food to just live and buy water to just live. Like, yeah, like being poor is a very difficult thing. But your life wouldn't be difficult because you have a vagina. In fact, if you're poor and you have a vagina, you've got easy manipulative ways in order to get money to get out of that poor state. Just look at all the thoughts on the internet. Let's be real. Let's be real. And I'm not saying that you should be a thought. In fact, if you watch my video catalog, you would see that I argue the opposite. But my point being is that being a woman grants you certain easy avenues and advantages that you would not have if you were a man. And to sit here and say that your life is harder than man's, especially when you have easy avenues, like when you're a woman, I forgot who made this joke, but it's the most beautiful joke ever. If you're a woman, you can totally screw up your life, jump shift off of your life, and then latch on to a man's and be totally fine. And I didn't say the joke correctly, but I think we all get the gist. Like a man would literally, like, if you were pretty enough, if you were a homeless pretty woman, you won't be homeless too much longer. That's what I'm saying. And you could do that as a woman, and that's an advantage. But now, while I'm speaking of the advantage, like the idea, and I could go as far as to say there are lots of advantages you get for being a man. Certainly, absolutely. But a lot of those advantages are just skills that we have to acquire to just like exist in the world, which I can extrapolate on maybe later in the video because I don't need this clip to be super long. But really the ultimate point I'm trying to make is the mindset here by itself is just not right and should not be held by anyone. No one should think, wow, it's so much harder to be a man. Wow, it's so much harder to be a woman. No, our lives are different. Our experiences in life are different. You can't really compare the two of them together. But, if we're going to talk literally statistically fact by fact basis, if we're talking about who is more likely to get assaulted, it would be men. Now, women are more likely to get sexually assaulted, but men are more likely to just get assaulted in general. And let me tell you, sister, I understand that you don't like sexual assault. No one does. But, you know, you shouldn't look at it as a worse category to getting your livelihood stolen from you. You know what I mean? It shouldn't even be compared. They're both horrible things that you should seek to avoid, is what I'm trying to say here.
Any time in their lives, and I want that. I am very envious of that.
And it's at this moment that what I've learned really like strikes me, because I said everything I said in the last clip, but this is when I really understand something that took me a really long time to truly come to terms with, because I had been saying it for a while, but it's not until recently that I genuinely come to terms with an inevitable truth of the world. And that is the fact that men and women are different. Now, this sounds really obvious. Like, I understand that. But, like, it wasn't until recently, until I really kind of, like, sunk into me. And I'm like, oh, now I really honestly get it. Because, let's be real about Bree. I don't think she's a particularly tall woman. And even if she was, she doesn't really strike me as a woman that works out on a regular basis to have a great degree of strength and conditioning. What does that mean? That means she's a small and honestly a weak woman. She probably doesn't really have that great constitution. A lot of women don't. They're not runners, you know. A lot of people in general don't have a very strong constitution. So they're not really going to be able to run if they're in a particularly scary situation. They're small, they're weak, they don't have any martial arts training. Honestly, I get it. Women, because women can see such a classical strength difference between them and men, it's harder for them to empathize with the top dog. And that's what Bree's mindset is coming from. Like, from Bree's point of view, she's the underdog in the world that is ruled by men. And honestly, literally, she kind of is. And this is the reason why people are fine with women attacking men, assaulting men, or beating up men. Because, again, everyone is always going to be on the side of the underdog. And no one wants to see someone get abused and beat up on unless they're sadistic. And most people are not like that. Well, whatever. So, this is what Bree is the underdog in her story. And that's why she's like, it's really easy for her to be like, I want to feel safe when I walk down the street, because in her mind, because she sees the strength difference between men and women that she just cannot overcome, that she just cannot latch onto, she does not empathize with the men, even the men probably closer in her life. She probably doesn't even realize the men in her life are probably on some bullshit. And even if they aren't on some bullshit, they're being very arrogant and they don't seem to understand that a knife in the back is going to take down anybody. A gun is going to take down anyone. For them to be all like, I'm not afraid to walk down the street. Honestly, look, man, I'm 6'1" and I'm afraid to walk down the street at night. You know what I mean? Like, it just to be reasonable, because you just don't know. You can't see in the dark. I'm not a cat. I mean, it's just reasonable, you know. I'm wary of every situation, every unknown situation I'm in. I'm wary of it. Shoot, even when I go to work, you know, I don't know if that's gonna be the day some kid brings a gun to school, so I'm wary. You know, I'm not paralyzed by the fear. You know what I mean? I can operate. I can walk down the street, but do I think consciously? You know, let me see. Is there some ways I can get out of here? Is there anything? Let me just, you know, keep my ears. Of course, and that's just reasonable. The thing is, a lot of women don't seem to grasp this concept. Is that while it's true that men have such a great strength difference between the two of you guys, and it's very easy to not empathize with men because of that strength difference. Like, in order to really gain the skills to really protect yourselves and do anything, you have to work on it. You have to make a conscious effort. And natural strength is not going to do much against you when someone has a weapon or when someone takes you on by surprise. You got to train yourself. And so in order to have the true ease and confidence to go into dangerous situations, it's something that has to be built upon. It's a skill. It's not just something you get for being a man. And of course, you can't know that as a woman because you're a woman. And I'm not going to be smart. I'm not going to make fun of ladies for this because it's reasonable. I get it. I really do. And this is the one part where I'm different. And now I can genuinely empathize with Bree, and I really get it. That being said, I still think her mindset is incorrect and wrong and lacks empathy, but I understand it, is what I'm saying. And hopefully, as young ladies who watch this video, you will also understand it as well. If you are a woman and you want that peace of mind, I'm sorry, it's not really a peace of mind that is forged without effort. You are going to have to work for it. You're going to have to train for it. Because honestly, being afraid at night, walking alone by yourself, is reasonable. And if you want the ease and confidence to do that, you gotta work. You either gotta buy a gun, or you gotta learn some martial arts skills, or you gotta do both. You gotta work. Sorry, the world isn't all peaches and cream.
And that's when I think of the word feminism. Yeah, there are a lot of inequalities between men and women, but that's what I'm going for.
And feminism will never help you obtain it, because feminism is an ideology. It's not going to change awful men into good men who aren't going to attack you. The only thing, I've always said this, man, for years, the only thing that can stop a bad man is a good man. I'm sorry. I am sorry. Wait, I'm not. I didn't make the game. I can't be sorry about that. I didn't do anything. I'm sorry. Except I'm not, because I didn't make the world. I mean, are men stronger than women? Are men more adaptable in combat situations than women? Are men usually more stoic and able to think critically in, high stressful situations? Yes. Is it unfortunate or not unfortunate? I don't know. It's probably unfortunate from a woman's point of view, but yes, that is the case. And feminism is not going to, at any point in time, overcome that. If you are a woman and you are afraid that you may be sexually assaulted, you are going to have to train yourself and work towards overcoming that fear. Or you can just get a husband and go everywhere with him. Now that's obviously a joke, but only partly a joke, because if you are genuinely that afraid, yeah, you might need to go live at home with your dad and have him escort you everywhere until he passes you out to your husband. And if you don't like that option, well, I mean, you just rewind the video and hear the other option again.
I don't hate men. I love men. I think men are wonderful.
Yeah, and I bet you do, because I mean, you wouldn't have a camera to record on, lights, refrigerators, drinkable water. And I can say lots. Look, there are lots of things that men provide in our society, and honestly, we should appreciate men more. I'm saying, and I do want to put this point here, which I'll extrapolate on probably in the near future. Praising men or praising women from one thing does not take away from the other sex, because it's not a competition, and it's stupid to look at men and women as if we are competing forces, because we're not. Okay, so I'll get into that some other time. So continue, Bree.
And I love women, and I think that people roll their eyes at a word that they don't understand.
Missy, I understand feminism quite well. And that's how I know it will never bring you the peace of mind you seek. Because it's an ideology. It ain't going to do much for changing the way people actually are biologically. And what you seek is a way to overcome a biological issue that is stemmed from the fact that men and women are born differently. Feminism ain't going to do much to change that.
I don't want to be called a bitch or a slut or overly sensitive.
Yeah, well, no one does. No one really wants to be insulted,
And I don't want men to have to feel like they have to be tough all the time, that they can't cry, that they can't talk about their feelings, that they can't share their experiences with stuff like this, which happens all the time, but we really just don't hear about that stuff.
And that is completely and totally the fault of women, by the way. Because men hear about this stuff between their friends all the time. Absolutely. But what I have come to learn time after time is you are vulnerable with a woman, you're probably not going to be able to date her anymore. Your option, yeah, that's what I've learned. That's what I have learned time after time. It's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate truth, but it's a truth that only women can change. That is not, any men cannot do anything about that. I'm going to end the video there. Here's the thing. I want to stress this point one more time, and that is the fact that men and women, we are different, and to compare our trials and tribulations as if they were like one-to-one, like a one-to-one ratio or one-to-one point, is stupid, because different men in different areas of society and in different places they were born, are just gonna have a different perspective and experience on life than any woman. And like a woman from New York is gonna be different from a man born in Texas. This, you know, a woman in Canada is just gonna be different from a man born off in the Sahara Desert. They're just not gonna be the same. More so than just the fact that one is a man and one is a woman. There's so many other factors that must be contributing into the difficulties of one's life. And I understand that as a woman, being smaller and being weaker than most men that you encounter, you would not be able to have empathy for them. But the truth of the matter is, it is a skill that you must foster as a young lady, especially if you are truly a feminist, which you probably aren't. But if you are truly and genuinely all for equality, which you probably aren't, you are going to have to foster that empathy. You're going to have to understand the difficulties that is being a man is different than the difficulties that is being a woman, and that you should not compare these two things as one-to-one or against each other in some kind of stupid faux pas war. And that is the mindset that I want to push people away from, because it hasn't really gotten any better since the 3 years Bree has made this video. Now, I don't know, Bree, if you ever watch this video, I'm going to say once again, thank you very much for making this video. I think you gave people a lot of insight, probably in the reverse way, but insight nonetheless. I really do think that you did a great job. Probably not in the way you want it to, but you know, it's going to be helpful to someone anyway. The truth of the matter is, if you want to be, and guys, this is for women in general, if you want to feel comfortable, if you want to feel safe out in society, that is something you must foster individually. Because I can tell you what, if you're a small, short guy and you're really scrawny, you're probably not feeling too comfortable either. And I was that guy. I was small and scrawny, and I was told all the time that people were going to try to come beat me up before I got into high school. And so in order to gain the confidence to, you know, walk down the street at night, I had to learn martial arts, and I had to learn how to disarm guns, disarm knives. I had to work out, exercise, you know what I mean? Like, and so, and granted, I did grow taller, but I literally prayed to God to make me tall. So, you know what I mean? So God gave me a slice on that one. God threw me a bone with that one. But seriously, like, learning martial arts was, again, that's a skill. It took time, it took practice. I had to work on it. And if you're a woman and you want that ease and that confidence, you have to work for it too. And if you don't want to do that, if you're a woman and you just think that men should just not assault, well, you're right. You're right. Men shouldn't randomly attack women, and men shouldn't sexually assault. You're not wrong there. Unfortunately, there are bad people in the world. And if you want to stop those bad people, you got two options. One, you learn how to stop those bad people yourself, or you get married and you let your husband stop those bad people. So, with that being said, man, I certainly hope you guys got something out of today's video. And if you did, man, go and click the like button. Go and click that. Comment in the comment box below. And as always, you guys have yourselves a great day. See you cool cats soon. Adios.